Hello, this is Avery Douglas reporting live from Houston Weather Watch. Oh my God, nigga, it's hot today.
Yeah,
It's hot.
It climbed right back up. You know what? No, let's not say it's hot. It's 59 degrees right now.
Nigga, that's Texas hot.
The sun came out. And it's one of those things where it's very difficult when you're here in Texas. Like, it can be cold, but if you go stand out in the sun, it get hot real quick. Bruh. So, yeah. You know, you can take out the coat. Last night, though, people that was at the rodeo was freezing.
Oh, yeah, dead ass.
Like, it was cold. Like, these last couple of nights at the rodeo, cold. Like, you know, when that sun go down, cold.
And for all the listeners, the people outside of Houston, the Houston rodeo is like, it's like a fair. I know you're hearing rodeo. What are y'all doing over there? Bruh, yeah. It is like the state fair mixed with the road. It's so much culture. There's so much culture in it. So it's the dopest shit.
And I'm about to say it's a state fair, it's the rodeo, because it's a livestock show and rodeo. There are animals and everything like that, but there are also concerts. There's like a concert every night. Right now, we haven't even gotten to the concert. Right now, we're in cook-off season. And for anybody that's from Texas that knows about the cook-off, it's people scrambling trying to find cook-off tickets, because the cook-off is you go to a tent and it's basically just alcohol and food and a performance sometimes, and it's just everybody just showing out who got the best food. So
it's great. It's to the point where you'll go there, and a lot of places I've been to, they'll give you like two red cups. Whatever you put in them red cups, they'll fill to the top, no questions asked. So I go over there. I says, "You mean to tell me I give you this red cup, Miss Bartender, and I ask you for straight Jack, you'll fill this up with straight Jack?" She said, "To the top." You know how much Jack was wasted? That, like, I'm not drinking all of that.
Why'd you ask that much?
I'm not drinking all of it. I did, though, but we've covered my, oh my God, I can drink that much? Well, I drank the whole thing.
Everybody be safe at the rodeo because it is cold. That coldness got you thinking maybe you can drink a little bit more than you actually can. And, you know, we live next to Reliance Stadium, Energy Stadium. So I see y'all walking back sometimes. Yeah. I see it. You know what I'm saying? Stay in control, but please go out there and enjoy, man. This rodeo season.
The first time I went to the rodeo, we went to the cook-off. We got some tickets, and it was for my homeboy's dad's company. So he just gave us the tickets. So we was drinking, made the mistake of making plans to hang out with some girls at Caro's afterwards. By the time we finished drinking them first two drinks, I was like, I'm trying to text to cancel. It was too late. Did not feel like being there. Oh, I'm over there and Carol's in the corner, drunk. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. It is what it is, but that's what it is. You know, sometimes your life can go good, but my night went black and ugly as ever. However, I stay used to down to my socks. So no one know it's them again. It's them boys from In My Humble Opinion. My name is Avery, like a very nice guy. Once again, you can find me at Instagram, _VERII. That's 4 eyes because I got 4 eyes. And that's my brother, the greatest writer, the writing extraordinaire. He's going to be writing the actual new Matrix. We just got word of that.
Not true at all. Not true at all. I do a little bit of writing, but you know, you can find me on Twitter. Twitter is just Devon. Everything else is Dr. Douglas. I do a little bit of writing for the press, a little bit of writing for the Houstonia, teach, you know, nothing too fancy.
But I think he's great. And once again, you can find us both in My Humble Opinion podcast at My Humble O on everything. That's at My Humble O on everything. All right. So one thing that we do here is, like I've always said, is that we like to shine a light on, you know, the artists in Houston. And this artist today, we don't have to throw around like that. The word legend does get thrown around a lot. This one, no, this is honest thing, because our next guest knows a lot about current Houston culture. Hell, he shaped it. I mean, from recording freestyles with the great Robert Davis to taking the world by storm and charting independently on his debut album, Don't Mess with Texas. He's chunked up the deuce from the South. He's chunked up the deuce from the South side, letting everybody know that he's a G till the day that he dies. And is now giving even more game and telling us not to get involved in the streets if you're not ready for them. A man that, this is my favorite line, a man that tips a hater just like he's a waiter, a Punisher mastermind, and a dope rhyme sayer. I've always wanted to say that to him. It's my favorite line. It changed my life. That line occupies space in my brain for forever. With his new album, Legend, in your phone right now, Lil Keke.
What it do? What it do? What it do?
Hey. How's it going? How's it going?
Hey, that introduction, that was, hey, I was tapped in myself. I was like, damn, that's a hell of an introduction.
You got a long career, man. You got a long your album is appropriately called Legend. I just did an article with you for the press, and I got to be honest, I thought I knew a lot about you. I didn't even know about the President's Award. I didn't know you got an award from the president. Yeah, and I'm looking. I saw that. I was like, oh, this was definitely news. First of all, I just want to go to that. Starting off there, where were you when you get the call? Like, yo, the president wants to award you, and tell us how that happened.
Well, first of all, it was just like that's an award that they give out. I'm pretty sure it's probably given out in different cities and different places, and I would just put into a pool, sort of say, to see if I would be the one picked for this. And this was some people inside of this, like people who did some, in the army, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was all walks of life that was nominated for this and I was in the running for, but I never thought that I would get picked because what I was in it for, I wasn't saying that it wasn't important, but I was just in it for my community work that I'd done with Little League football and youth football. And to be honest, I wasn't trying to be rewarded for that or anything. I just loved it. So to be in the runnings with these other different people who were looked at to get this award and for me to get picked, I just felt like it was a act of God, or it was favor for me for different things that I do. So I felt great about it. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a big out of the blue, oh, you got picked. I knew that I was in something, but I was shocked that I was the one that got picked. So it was a great thing, man. It was a learning experience through it, man. Everybody wasn't happy in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you got different walks of people. So it was a great time for me to just see both sides, but I accepted it well. It's a beautiful thing in my career and I love it.
That's fantastic. And I told you about the Toby Ngegwe concert. And that moment where he was doing the Southside with you on stage. But I mean, the whole 5,000 people, 713 Music Hall doing the Southside. We talking about an album, a song that came out in the 90s. And the people thought that story I was talking about was a lie. We were standing next to an older gentleman that was there with, I don't know if that was his son or his grandson, but he was definitely like, yo, we waiting for, like, once you saw the vibe of Toby's going to bring out somebody every song, he was adamant, like, we not leaving until Lil Keke step out on that stage. And then I'm watching him and his son do the Southside together. What is that like to have this effect on generations of Houston music?
That's a great, I really love that at this stage. You love that at this stage because you never really know that that's going to come, that you're going to affect generations in times to come. And I see that a lot. I see, because I'm from a fan base. My fan base has been great. I'm from a buying fan base, and I'm not just talking about from the money. We just come from that part of the game of music and supporting. So my fan base is real strong. So when I see their nieces and nephews and children, they have adapted to it. It used to make me feel like, I'm getting a little older, but from an OG standpoint, I love it. Those are the small accolades that we do get to enjoy from being independent. I keep going, you know what I'm saying? I take the good with the bad, that comes with being a legend. So when you get the small things like that, when you can see my generation and my fan base enjoying it with their children or their nieces or nephews, and they just is in tune with what's going on, that's a great feeling because, man, Southside is lasting the test of time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just as big today as it was in 1997.
Absolutely. We interviewed K Reno like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he was talking about getting into the game with no real expectations. When he got in, and he was in before you, but it was, he's like, we knew some people in New York was rapping. We was rapping too, but I wasn't thinking this is going to be a lifelong career. Let's go back to the beginning for you. When you first start actually rapping, what are your initial thoughts on is this going to take off? Do I think this is going to be something? Or were you just like, okay, this is just fun?
I was step for step with it. Let me tell you the truth. Like what I mean by step for step, of course, being young, I gravitated and I love music. Like it was something to me to be able to recite Run DMC, Peter Piper, Peter Love. I was always musically engaged. But when it came from a standpoint of me knowing if this music is going to take me somewhere, man, one of my first most important things was being known in my neighborhood. See, when the tape started flowing in my hood, when I first started with the freestyles and all that, it wasn't about if somebody on the other side of town was going to hear somebody out of state. I was step by step by saying, man, I'm telling you, I'm really cold and I'm really got something and I'm ready for my hood to know it first. See, if I can get it in Herschelwood and South Park, and I just spreaded it from there. Then when I got the Screw House, I wanted all the neighborhoods to hear me as we started to spread and get big. Then as we started to get big and these people were coming from Galveston and Beaumont and all these places buying these tapes, then I started setting my mind to, I want people in other cities. So it was step by step. I didn't start off saying, I'm telling you, I'm ready to take the world by storm. Not me, not at all. Because I started real young, 16, 17 years old. So I didn't even know about all that. People like Run DMC, to me, they were already made people. I didn't even have that in my thought process of if I was going to be able to do that or not.
See, that's what's awesome too, with you being so young and having that vibrant energy. One thing I've always wanted to know about you is, of course, you have hits, but like when it came to when you were starting, you were freestyling. Where did you get the wherewithal to just come off the top of the dome like that?
Well, now, my neighborhood, let me see if I can give you a good analogy for this. Kind of got just think about when you think about Lil Wayne, them and the Hot Boys, and when we first heard about them, and you think about New Orleans and in the projects. Like my neighborhood is sort of like that from a standpoint of a lot of boys from a range of 14 years old to 21 years old. When I say a lot of boys, I'm talking about 20, 30 of them, 40 of them, and they all in a group. And I'm using that to say the freestyle thing was a competitive thing inside of our neighborhood because we were turned on into a other way. Like I tell people all the time, Fat Pat was a myth to me. I hadn't seen him. I just heard about that he had this freestyle trophy, that he had went to this club called High Rollers and they gave him the Freestyle King trophy. At this time, I'm 15, 16, 17 years old when I'm hearing this. Pat is 5 years older than me. So in my neighborhood, as we doing this freestyle, my neighborhood was behind me as far as they want me to get that freestyle trophy. I was that good because it was a repetitive thing. We used to ride in the cars with no radios, with the radio in our hand, like a regular radio out the store. We used to call it a throwdown. And at these times, man, we used to freestyle with the beat on the beats, with the words still on them, with people still, you know what I'm saying? We might be listening to More Bounce to the Ounce. They still singing, but we rapping over it. So what I'm basically saying, by the time we really got the Screw House and by the time y'all really got to hear enough of the tapes, I was well seasoned into doing that repetitively over all these words and rhyming and Candy and Blue. I had already had a running of that at 15 and 16 and 17 before y'all heard if I was good or not. So by the time the world got turned on to me in 1995, 1996, where they were hearing tapes consecutively, going to Screw House and hearing all these classic freestyle, Who's Next with Plex and Leaning on the Switch and all these, and Flipping to the Classic and No Drink, and I was already seasoned by then. Same for Pat. By the time y'all got there, it's not like the Screw tape started and we just started running off and man, these boys just good at freestyle. Man, I've been freestyling from 92, 93, 94. You just not getting it at 95. And by that time, I can almost do it as if I'm writing it at that point.
It was perfect. My favorite is you and Pat. What was that? Y'all sampled that Mac 10. And,
yeah.
Man, I listen to that every day. But I'm saying just hearing it, but still your vocab, because I've watched a lot of documentaries on you. I saw one where you went back to your high school and whatnot, and you've documented that you weren't really the greatest student. Where did you get?
And people tell you, anybody that know me, man, we got a podcast, Get Ready to Come. I'm a great debater. You know what I'm saying? And people think that I'm always debating based on that I think I know everything. I pick up a lot of game. You know what I'm saying? I pick up information well that my vocabulary is gonna pick up because I'm doing it repetitively over and over. I playing start cutting yards. I did nothing but this for 25 years straight. And that's the thing. I'm a great judge of people. I study a lot. So my vocabulary just picked up based on my experiences. You know what I'm saying? Wait till you hear the book. I will tell you about that later, but the book is crazy. And it's not even about my life. I'm just talking about the Legend Talk book, my autobiography. That's coming down the line. I'm still in the middle of that story. That's a crazy story. Me being able to articulate well is just me having a lot of time and experience with doing it over and over. Even when we were doing these interviews, I'm just well at doing it.
That's good though, but like, I mean, you talked about it a little bit. Let's talk about it. What's up with the Legend Talk book?
Real big. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really excited about it. It's a chapter I've been wanting to go get ready to bounce to in my career. Not bounce to like bounce out, but I wanted to add that to my portfolio. I felt like I was going to be well at it. And I really got dug into it a few months ago after people been asking about it. I got a podcast on the way, a real big podcast on the way. We'll talk about that in a minute also. And I just, man, my platform in the morning has become so big, you know, self-employed. You can be, you know, Fortune 500, you can be corporate America. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Running in the morning, drinking your coffee, doing what you do, Legend Talk. It's about experiences of people from day-to-day experiences, what you go through, what I go through. Some you might not want to share with your coworker right there. Some you might not share. Some you just looking for the answer. It's deep. And you can start at any chapter of life. So you can open the book up and start at 8 if you want to. Go back to 3, 2, 1, 50. I think it's going to hit real big. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a good roll off of the album. You know what I'm saying? The album is right where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? In my career. My album and this album, Legend, it reflects exactly where I'm at right now in my life.
Well, let's also talk about, like you said, and the foundation of this book where you're saying, you know, your morning talk. You've developed a new branch where you're kind of a philosopher on social media. Talk about how that developed and what got you into that, because we're seeing a lot more, particularly Houston rappers, that start to get into that and are building up strong fan bases, are shoring up their fan base and increasing it.
Well, for me, I know that, man. I'm how would I say it? Because I don't want to, you know, I'm very persuasive in a standpoint of you know, I make it plain, I make life plain, I make it easy I make it look easy. I mean, what I mean by that, for people to believe into, you know, hey, he may have really been through these experiences. And I'm just not, even in this book, it's not just about what you've been through. You know, I'm explaining, I ain't perfect. I've done this, I've been through. And most of my platform is just real life. Hey, you know, if I could get you to love cars, sell drugs, exploit women, all these things that I told you to do when I was young, and you loved it. You know, I could tell you to get some life insurance, or I could tell you, you know, you pick your little girl up from school a couple more times, start going to your son's little league football game, you know, loan your partner some money without telling somebody. These are real life types of things. You know what I'm saying? So that different people can tap in. And I got, you know, don't get me wrong, we all go through it, but I also got thick skin. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too much that a lot of people scared of that lane because it's very opinionated, and you know you're gonna get judged a lot. I get all that too, but that comes with being a legend. That's what I told people, man. Keke, why you a legend? I'm a legend because the ridicule, the hate, the derogatory, all those different things, you washed up, you this, I deal with all that. You know, I'm the people's champ and the villain. So when people start paying homage and saying you're a legend and you're great and you did this for the city, I'm even killed on that, and I love and I believe, because I was able to live through the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't return from man, he been doing this a long time. When this gonna happen? And which is so when I met 25 years later, man, it's 25 years later, you're doing this, you got the book, you got the podcast, you're looking great, the album. I can accept all that because I can accept when the praise ain't here. So it all goes together. So that's just it.
No, and you know what? That kind of leads into the next question because we've talked about, you and I have talked. I interviewed you for Ozone magazine a while ago. You know, it was Ozone. This was shortly after, and I think people forget how big of a deal it was when you decided to sign with Swishahouse. And there was a lot of talk like, oh, okay, well, it's over. You crossed the side, all this other kind of stuff. You had to have a thick skin to go through that. At that time, we didn't really talk about it too much, but your decision into going and making that move, and now looking back and seeing, because now it's just that move did a lot of things to calm the city down. That move did a lot of things to move the rap community in the city forward. Yeah. You might hear Northside, Southside jokes, but it's not the same as what it was before. Now it's a joke. Before it was a lot more dangerous. Real. You're a part of the change in that. What made you make that decision initially? And looking back, how do you and like T Ferris feel about the decisions y'all made moving forward with that?
I would do it again. That's a good. I would do it again because everybody. Let me tell you something, my it goes back to what I say. Let me tell you, man. Sometimes I tell people this, sometimes I don't. I'm gonna tell y'all in this interview the reason why, along with other things, so we don't have to get into, along with other reasons that I had to make this decision. You know, personal reasons. You know, legal reasons that I wanted to make the decision that I need to. The one reason that I really was able to make this decision. This is not tooting the horn or anything. I knew I'd be able to rap my way out of anything. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I was going to deliver. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? See, the one thing that I knew played a part in this was, yeah, this is going to be a hell of a decision that Keke's going to get ready to make, but what it's going to sound like, it's going to determine a lot of it. So I tell people, I fast forward to this. I'm not giving back Chunk of the Deuce. I ain't giving back G Till I Die. I ain't giving back Gangsta Grill. I ain't giving back ABA. I'm not giving back Paul Wall, my brother. I'm not giving back 106 in Park. I'm not giving back the road, the professionalism, what I had to do. That was a sacrifice that I had to make, and I was able to make it because I always been pure rapper. And that was a rapper decision. That wasn't a street cat decision. That wasn't an athlete decision. That wasn't that. I was able, it's not too many from my era, from my time that have been able to fully live and make rap decisions. All my residual incomes, all my houses, my cars, my investments, my life have been made around rap. That was a rap decision, and I knew that I could live with the decision. And I also knew that the reason I was making the decision to carry on. I tell people one of my things is go through all of that phase, that whole run, that whole movement, and digging out. The main thing that you're going to find in the ABAs, the Gangsta Grills, the music, the love by few, the hated by many, I'm still the captain of the Screwed Up Clique. You know what I'm saying? And I still had to make a decision to make sure that this legacy, 10 years, 15 years later at that deal, I stand here as the captain of the Screwed Up Clique. Nobody can really make that decision but me. You know what I'm saying? I think because I can live with everything that went with it. And that's what I mean by all the and that. I was able to live with that. So 15 years later, when it's 713, it's self-made, it's legend, my chest is stuck out, and I don't have to be modest and hide down because when the chips wasn't going my way and I had to stand up, and I'm still the captain. It's still for Screw. It's no discrepancy. But what I had to do for the North Side and the South Side, I was big in the reason that it was a rift. So being the reason to bring the city back together, it just all came full circle. And it's not three, it ain't two. I'm tired of saying 3, 4. It ain't no other person that could have did that but me.
Mm-hmm. No. You're right. You're right. And I like that. I guess that also goes with your morning talks and what we talked about the book. You claim ownership in anything that you've done wrong. Like you're like, yo, I'm a part of the reason for the rift. So I had to put it back together. You really, like, even when you're giving that advice, you're like, I did this. You don't have to do this, you know? When you talk about not just for Southside and Northside, and I'm gonna go back to that interview we talked about because we talked a while afterwards. You were one of the first rappers, and this is back then, that was saying we got a lot of rappers that make mistakes by not embracing the Houston sound. Said I've done it too. But the wave of Houston rap is coming. Like, you think it's here, but there's more to come. You told me that years ago. And so it was, and shortly thereafter, I saw ASAP Rocky on TV. I saw Trey, and you started seeing these people. I was like, oh, he was right. Because I was definitely one of those ones where I was like, well, you know, the sound might be a little old. You know what I mean? It might be. And then you saw all these people embracing it. What is it like? Well, I'm not going to say what is it like being right. What is it like seeing this Houston culture being embraced? And you're seeing, like, DJ Screw has a book coming out. They're making movies about DJ Screw. I just saw that you were part of one. There are things that are now coming out because the public is like, not only did we always want this, we want to know more. And now you have new people that are like, oh, I never even knew about this. Like, I want to know all about this. What's it like to be a part of that legacy and watch it grow?
Well, for me, I just kept believing. Like I said, like this particular space and era of music and what we done, genre of music that we created, you have to have tough skin and big nuts to hold on. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people wanted to play it out. The reason why I never did, because Houston is a culture within itself. You know, I became richer, you know what I'm saying? And I'm headed to being wealthier, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by here is Texas, period. So what I knew was going to catch on one day was people going to notice that, man, these people are willing to live within their own culture, whether we accept it or not. See, that was my big thing. I don't have to come out of this way of thinking and way of living because the rest of the world isn't going to catch on, because I just always felt like we was a whole vibe. And that's why anybody that comes here from a concert, from a hanging around, from a riding, from a staying downtown Galleria, they love this vibe. It just only continues to grow. Now, when social media, the only thing that made it better for us when social media hit and you was able to see our vibe. Man, look at these young cats, these legends, man. It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them from the 90s, man. They living like kings. They living in these big houses. You can call it whatever you want. Everybody want big houses and cars and swimming pools and traveling and whatever you got in your bank account and your investment, that's your business. But we having a great time. I'm having a great time. So that's what I'm saying. So I always knew when people got a chance to catch our vibe, you know what I'm saying, and get a, and now, man, you know, I'm still here selling that vibe. You know what I'm saying? That's what Legend is about, man. Legend gave me the same feel as Don't Mess with Texas, as far as being the ambassador of always wanting them to know that Texas is lit. It may be country to you, you know what I'm saying? A little country because the accent and the way we do it, but the way we have fun, the way we ride, the way we, you know what I'm saying, the way we vibe, the way we put it together, the way we party, the way we date party, the way we talk, the way we drink, it's a whole vibe. And it may not be a vibe that you do up east or do up west, but down south and when you come see us. And that was the thing. Even with We From Texas. That's why We From Texas was so big with Sauce Walker, Slim Thug, Zero. It was so big and it popped so fast. The views hit so fast because I made Texas feel a part again. Hey, let's stand up. Port Arthur, Beaumont, Tyler, Longview, Dallas, whatever, everything, man. Houston, San Antonio. Man, I had little country towns coming. Man, I'm Boogaloo, Texas. Here, I'm back feeling good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we used to do. That's how I used to do charting on my first debut album, doing 40,000. Man, do you know what 40,000 the first week it is? If you make that equivalent to today, man, that record still stands. Man, we done 40,000. These are cassettes and real digital, real physical copies. This is from that era. Man, I've seen everything from a cassette to a vinyl to a CD to a stream to an NFT. What else y'all got, man? Do y'all got anything else?
I remember buying it. And one thing too is statement. thank you guys for standing on your own too and being Texas, because when you was popping, niggas in New York was dancing, there was Diddy, the DMX came, and everything was happening, the world was going crazy, and y'all was like, nah, we Texas. Starts down, Polo, Southside Fade, and I like, you just...
Trying to hear it, because let me tell you something, don't get me wrong, it's money to be made. You can miss money, you can make more money, but the thing about it, man, sometimes we were going through different phases of it. Like, we were like, man, that's why the love of it is so great and it's still lasting so long, because in the beginning it wasn't about money. I tell people all the time, I never did a talent show before. I never had a demo. I never had none of, and that's not always a great thing to brag about. Sometimes I tell people that was to our detriment, because, you know, Beyonce and them, they've been through star searching, getting booed. So they level of, we just come straight from smoking, drinking, having a good time, doing fruit tape, big thing, you know, we doing shows. So, man, I tell people, man, like, I probably was 26 or 27 before I realized, shit, this is what I really do.
10 years in.
Yeah, I just been having a great time for about 10 years straight. I don't even got the because I tell people, and that I tell young stars that here, I mean young rappers that here now, any of that I try to deal with, I'm trying to get you out the city, do more, because this city is very addictive. You can become a star here and lose the whole concept of being a star everywhere. Yeah, man, you're going out 2-3 times a week, man. The women beautiful here, the spotlight beautiful here, the atmosphere beautiful here. You getting money, you driving, you riding, you dress good. Before you know it, 6, 7, 8 months then pass. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't even realize, because you can been and ran up. Man, just think, man. Who told you how and when? But for the average rapper, man, for the average Houston rapper that should have a little something going on, or it's working in their favor, it's so easy to be making $200,000 a year. I make, you know, we make more than that, but I'm saying it's that could happen so fast. You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know where about y'all, but that's a great living.
That's amazing. I don't make $200,000. I don't make nowhere near that. So yeah.
Man, you make 2,000, man. If you got your good manager, man, you got you some features, some streams, and some shows. Man, 200,000 is nothing, man. You can be making that fast, bro. And oh, man, let's be realistic. I'm a realistic person, man. I don't care if you're making 120,000, $10,000 a year affords you to be able to come outside, look pretty well, drive what you want, and be able to talk.
Yes.
It's not a lot of places in the world that's gonna give you that type of living, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, seriously, man. Like, so I said that to say that particular living sometimes can cloud your vision on doing other things or getting outside the city. It didn't happen to me. You know, I've been a millionaire within living in Texas. So that's why I do legend when I wake up. Oh, holy shit, I got some more millions I can get if I do what I need. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll get caught up into, man, I'm pretty much, man, I didn't even do an album last year. I had probably more fun than I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. In the pandemic, I wasn't crying, whining, or nothing. I got smarter about how to do it. So, man, it's been a blessing, man. It's all about what you get out the journey. And for me, with the album, they like, Keith, what can you get out of this 25 years later? First thing I can get out of it is letting y'all know, hey, man, it's getting fine like wine in time, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. It can still go on. That's just for your own motivation. But for the most part, the album is for me to see where I'm growing at and where I can take myself. Can this album take me to the book? Can it take me to the new podcast with me, Bun B, Aaron Foster, Kendrick Perkins, the I Am Athlete Houston? It's gonna be huge. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sorry. Can you say the podcast lineup again? Just one more
me,
time.
B, Aaron Foster, Kendrick Perkins, Andre Johnson, I Am Athlete Houston. It's gonna be big. We already on it. It's working. It's already in place. So hopefully, man, by the April, May, that'll be all the way up and running. We already did a couple episodes. We did our first episode actually with Brandon Marshall. That was a test run. So that's what I'm saying about this album. How can I be more excited about doing music again? When you get to my part, you either want to do this some more or you ready to chill out. You know what I'm saying? So my albums don't never be more about this sale or this stream or this. We're gonna get money regardless. It's more about where can I elevate to from this album? Where can it take me to? Where can it take me to in the book era? Where can it take me to in the podcast, in the content era? Where can it take me from an affiliation and resource and what I was going to use in relationship standpoint? Because that's even what this did. This strengthened me and Juicy J relationship. This strengthened me and Crit relationship. So how can I elevate from this album, man? Doing albums still for sales and money, man, that's out, man. I'm gonna eat regardless. I'm a hustle.
And that's the other thing too. This Legend album definitely felt like that track you have with Juicy J. It feels like if we're going back to the beginning of your career, where you're talking about Don't Mess with Texas, it's charting, it's topping. Did you ever have the idea that I need to start branching out and like I need to do a song with a DMX, or I need to do a song with a Juicy J, or I need to go out there? Because it felt very much like the early stages of Cash Money, where it's like we do everything in house. We don't need to go out. Was that y'all's mindset, or were you just like we just haven't got out?
That helped us and hurt us. You know, that helped us and hurt us. What I mean by that is, I'm like this, man. I love everything organic. You know, I always like to, for artists that I'm dealing with, for it to be organic. I want to do some music, which I want to, and you just as, you know, man, you know, sometime, man, and that was probably to our detriment. Sometime, man, we're like that. And what I mean by that, Texas, you know, sometimes we don't feel invited to the party. So sometimes, man, it wasn't about that. So sometimes we did our own thing. And let me tell you, man, like, even with this album, man, when you're hearing Martina Marie, DJ Cho, on Self-Made too, man, I had EXO and Chucky Trill and J-Dog and it's Slim and it's Zero and it's Toby on the album and it's Bun B. Man, it's the Texas soundtrack. You know why? Because I remember those was sort of the only albums that I used to get to. The big people and big budget people, they wasn't coming to get us. So now with me being a legend and knowing the notoriety and how people gonna gravitate to my album, I'm letting Martina Marie get a part of being that. Because I remember I was Martina Marie and DJ Chose, and even though DJ Chose, he doing his thing. But
yeah,
I remember being the only exposure I was getting was if Bun or Pimp ended up letting me get something, or if now I get Drake using lines that I got and Logic, big, and you know, that happens later. And my one main thing, let me not leave this out because this is more, I just don't think we missed nothing that was supposed to be for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got songs with Beyonce, I got different, man. If it was for me to happen, even with the Toby song we did last summer, man, you know, the Purple Rain, it was real big, man. Toby could have did 1,000 things. He came and got me 4 tracks. So I don't think that I missed nothing that I was supposed to. So, and that's why, like I say, my story's still gone. The song that may happen with Jay-Z or Alicia Keys or this person is not to say that it still won't happen. I think it'll happen when it's supposed to. Some of these songs we would have done, we wouldn't even had our paperwork right when we were young, so it wouldn't even matter anyway. I would rather do them now. When my mind is where it's supposed to be and I know what I'm supposed to do and I know my value. So I just don't think we missed nothing, man. And like I say, man, I'm telling you, I'm enjoying my latter career probably just as much as being 21-year-old Keke with Don't Mess with Texas. I got that feel because the middle part was just a lot of gumbo and a lot of work to get to this person that I am today. I started this person right here to bring me to the game, and this person right here is much, much different than the person in the middle. So it's all matching up.
When did and we've kind of talked, you've alluded to it, where it's like, you know, I used to tell y'all to do this, and now I'm telling y'all to do something different. Y'all should be able to listen to both. You say you're a persuasive person. When did that shift start happening in your life where you were like, all right, yeah, I'm not gonna do the same stuff no more. Like, what was the thing? Was it a moment, or was it just a gradual change?
Now, when I say I'm very persuasive, and I am, and people look up to me in different type of ways. I'm a leader in so many other facets of my life, as a father, as a football coach, and I'm into a lot of things. So when I started seeing, I got kids, like they kind of, they know their old man is this person is. So I just know that I just see how I get people to follow and gravitate to me. And people been laughing at me for about the last 2 months. I've been using this word, boy. If they hear me say this right there, but I galvanize. I'm a galvanizer personality. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my words. I be arguing with my sports argument. He just don't galvanize. so you know what I'm saying? So they go laugh when they hit it, but I do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm a galvanizer personality. So I had to start thinking, man, hey man, I can tell them to really come on, get with me, man. I can make people believe, man, we're gonna dive off this cliff and we're gonna live together. And people, so I need to start telling them, making them believe. And look here, man, hey man, if we gonna, and see, I like gangster shit that keep it real like this here. Hey man, look, if we gonna smoke weed all day, me and you together, we smoking a $300, $400, $500 weed. We got to be willing to pay $100 for some life insurance, man. You know what I'm saying? So we won't be selling fish dinners and chickens. And I ought to be able to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not in the later part of saying, pick Jesus and pick this, whatever your religion is and what you decide to do. That's what it is. I'm only here giving game and spreading my knowledge on what I think is something real. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, like, what's wrong with, man, it ain't nothing that you in love with that you need to beat this girl up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no type of love, ain't nothing going on where you need to choke your woman. You know what I'm saying? Or kill you, that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, bro. That's that, and telling that, those type of things that I think, and that's why they relatable. I'm not over here saying, hey man, y'all need to stop cheating on your woman, because, hey man, your business is your business. I'm just saying, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this. So I think the game that I do give is relatable. And that come with heat, man. It's just people just ask me just sometimes, why you need to, I'll be like, hey, man, I don't want no smoke.
We can see your music has taken that turn because, like I said, I mean, like you've said, yeah, it's real. It's not preachy, because the thing is, you're giving a cautionary tale even when it comes to don't get involved. You see the title, but it's like, don't get involved if you're not prepared.
If you're not prepared. And see, this is the whole thing about it. Let me tell you how I'm able to get away with it, because I'm old school this. I'm still in it. See, I'm still in the jamming. It don't matter how I tell it to you, I'm still jamming, man.
Jam.
You know what I'm saying? And jamming mean, man, like I tell people, I make music, man, when you get clean and you want to get in your car and you can get ready to have a job, man, his jamming in there. Even if I'm telling it to you on some, don't get involved. Uncle Dog, don't get involved was my decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Young niggas was graduating from state prison. You know what I'm saying? And I'm smoking weed on probation. I just wouldn't listen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling it to you, gangster, but I'm still, it's a beat, it's a vibe, it's a hook, because I'm big on hooks and beats. It's still a vibe. That's what I do. And I'm more into everything vibe. It's not I'm finna be preaching something to you and you, oh man, they go Keith. Even with my story, I tell people from, I don't drink. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink syrup, codeine, none of that. I've been stopped. I'm 12, 13 years in, quit, don't do it at all, period. I'm not telling nobody, and you're gonna be, you better. I'm telling them what I had to do for a person and what decision I had to make. And the lesson in that be, sometimes you gotta make a decision for you, not the people around you. What's the best for what works out for you? What may work for me may not work out for you. I may have some bad habits over here that I still do. I eat out every day. I still eat. You know what I'm saying? I might still have some bacon in the morning. People swear that's kill me dead, but I still do it. So it's different strokes for different folks. I'm just saying that when I'm telling my story, I'm never trying to be a hypocrite within it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. That's why I'm able to spread that and do it the way that I do, because I don't got no judgment in it.
But my brother's going to ask a really smart question before we get there. I don't want to leave this. You were talking about making songs before, and using being all in house for the Southside remix, and you got 8 Ball on it. Was that easy to do? Because I mean, Tony Draper and being in the city.
Tony Draper, he a tough ass. That's my partner. He a tough ass. He don't like no Houston music. Really, he love mine. He'll tell you that. That's his story. It wasn't as hard because me and 8Ball real good. That's my partner. 8Ball in my house, eat pork chops and just saying, rice and steak. He done been in my house before. We cool like that. Ball, my brother, talk to him all the time. So we had a good relationship. Really, to be honest, I'm kind of modest, man. I like to leave people alone when they hot. Like you hot, you own. I'm finna be, man, can I get a verse? It wasn't about that. You know what I'm saying? I just really wanted Ball. I did the Southside remix, and he was my partner, and we got it did. It was, out of a lot of things that I had to do, that was one of the ones that wasn't hard at all.
I figured not, because it was, for me, it was, at the time, I was surprised because I didn't know how close y'all were. There was no internet. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid. I wasn't going out to Jamaica. I couldn't see y'all. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But I was surprised, but I was like, well, I mean, he's on, you know what I'm saying, Suave House. I'm like, he's on Jam Down. They in the city. And that shit still jams to this day. My hat goes off to you.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Ball, my brother for life. We tight. I started to have Ball and them on Legend, and I kind of was, but I got something I'm redoing. That's my guy.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man, really.
My brother said I was going to ask a smart question, but it ain't. It's about, you said you don't want smoke. You talked a little bit about bacon. In the beginning of this pandemic, probably one of the most entertaining things that I saw was you and Pokey talking about y'all's cooking style. And what I haven't seen is y'all just go ahead. Y'all said we just gonna go at it. Who is the better cook? And is one of you gonna prove this? Are y'all gonna prove this and going to get this done?
This is what y'all gotta understand. Me and Pokey talk 5 times a day, 2 or 3 an hour at a time. It goes on. We real entwined, kids, family like that. So a lot of food arguments and shit that we do, they still be going on. They just don't going on all day. Hey, this is what I tell people. My phone, if you go in my phone and put Pokey in there and press the pictures, it look like a menu. That's what it looks like. It's all food, see. This is what I told him the other day. He think because he more greedy than me, he eat more than me, he bigger than me, that just automatically make him think that he can cook better than me. You know what I'm saying? That's just his automatic. So this is a forever argument. I just told him the other day, you don't got nothing that you can do that you're going to make me think that you can cook better than me. So I don't give a damn what you say. You know what I'm saying? So this is an ongoing argument. We're going to do that, man. That was good for the pandemic, me and him. Man, but that's the reason why, really, man, because that's not really like a joke. Like, we really, like, that wasn't really put on. Like, we was fake. That's a real, like, that just happened to be on live and because we in the house and that shit goes on all day. like it just ain't captured by the camera, but I think we will do a little bit of, because, man, people are gonna ask us about that shit. Man, I get something asking me about this bacon and shit, man.
All the time.
Every other day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's all it is. Just Pokey, just me and him. So that's the real thing of it. It's not like we really wasn't faking. That's why y'all don't get to see it on the internet, because I'm a little bit more internet than him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm about to say you a lot of it. Look,
well, a lot of it.
That leads into the next part, because I mean, when he popped, because Pokey had disappeared for a while, he was still there, but commercially he just wasn't. And then you see him release this album, and immediate success, immediate, like, oh dog, we missed it. Oh, look at what he got. What is it like seeing artists that, one, a personal friend of yours that you're close with, that you watched, like, y'all came up together, and now here it is, y'all got kids, y'all got all this stuff, and you're dropping albums with new artists that are out. Your album, Legend, as well as Pokey. Y'all got people from y'all's generation, people from the generation after, this new class of rappers. Mm-hmm. They are all featured heavily on this. What is that like seeing that?
Well, you know, man, I've been in that run, you know what I'm saying? And I used to have to, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, man, I inspire people differently. And man, everything that Pokey is doing, we used to have long conversations about, man. They just really just waiting for you to just do it. You know, man, and sometimes, man, it takes different things, man. Time, everything is about time. And man, see me, I'm just you know, that's what I'm saying. Each person, people, everybody has different mindsets, and what it may take me to tick and what it may take me to go may be a little different than everybody else. But I was constantly on because I knew that if you just jump up and take care of your business and do this here, this is what's gonna happen. The love is there for you. And sometimes, man, that's all that's left for you to get started is the love. You know, it might not be for the money, it might not be this here, man. You might have to step out on faith and do it for the love that's there. Me, man, I'm real heavy on myself. I'm real tough on myself, man. And I'm just really happy to see that he back taking advantage of the opportunities that been there for him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's back to what I'm telling you about me with the believing in it. You just have to keep believing in it, man. You have to keep believing in it, man. And sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You know what I'm saying? You looking and where you trying to get to. I used to tell him that all the time, man. We talk about all the time. Where you at right now, it was hard to see that from where you was, the work that you just do it, man. One brick by one brick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's real big about these interviews. I told you this last time I talked to you. Each interview, man, I always let the people know and the people conducting the interview that I'm very grateful and appreciative of them taking their time out to do this interview. They like, hi, man, you homage to the legend now. Hey, man, 25 years later, man, getting the interview, people still paying homage, people still praising, people still looking up. Man, I can go back 25 years and name 20 people y'all ain't had not a word to say about. You ain't said nothing about them. You ain't did an interview. You ain't thinking about them. You may be personal, but you don't have no reason. That relevance, that work, and what they got going on has not made you conduct the interview. So I'm always grateful, and I just tell them that too. Hey, man, listen, take advantage of these opportunities, man, to be this. You know, me, shit, you know, I'm trying to act how I'm looking. I'm feeling 20, 25, 30. I'm trying to, hey, man, listen, if they let me drop an album at 51, I'm going to drop one that I would give it, you know, you know what I'm saying?
I'll stream it.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's just the thing, man. And sometimes you don't always get that opportunity. That's just like you know, sometimes when I'm talking, you know, I might be answering 2 or 3 of the questions at once. And that's just like the rodeo. Hey, man, we grateful for it. And the rodeo, man, listen, we going to, like y'all talked about in the beginning, this is big and cook off, and we going to this regardless. Cook off and carnival and the fair and sausage on the stick and funnel cake. We going to do this regardless. Now, getting the opportunity as from going here from a child to getting ready to perform in front of this, that's not something that you just looking at like, yeah. You looking at that like, man, hold up. You know, it is. And we got that when you supposed to got it. Hey, man, 20, 15 years ago, man, I'd have tried to take some weed in there and some drinking now and would have got caught anything. But now I'm ready to put my boots on. I'm mature, and God gave it to me when he was ready for me to really be able to take advantage of it. So I'm saying all that to say I don't feel no different at this age than I felt when I dropped Don't Mess with Texas as far as my gratefulness of being able to do this. And man, I'm on a long run of doing this music, man.
And that's the other thing too. So you're talking about the rodeo for I mean, everybody should know this by now if you're in Texas, but for everybody else, March 11th, Bun B, you, and a number of people that are just the foundation for Houston hip hop are going to be performing. How did this come about, and what can fans expect to see March 11th at the rodeo?
I don't even know yet, man. I don't even know. I think we got our first rehearsal this week. I think we're doing 2 or 3 before the actual show on the 11th. So the rehearsal this week, how we gonna do it, I don't know. Hey, man, after you found out you was in, you were just, man, I mean, man, you know, I mean, and you know, I think, man, it was an opportunity that Bun B got, and then he opened up the door for, you know, to get the rest of the AllStars in and make it a great thing. And it's growing. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be great. And we're getting ready to do a rehearsal, and just being a part of history, man. You're gonna come in out humble. You know, if they tell you to come in there and goddamn get in the back and you gonna hey man, I got people calling me for tickets saying they'll do anything. Man, you need some extra security. You need you need a cook for you. Say, hey man, I don't got no extra tickets, man. So I just think, man, that it's gonna be put together. You know, because I think this week we'll probably get to see everybody that's gonna be in it, which I don't know everybody that's gonna be in it. So, yeah, man.
I'm expecting anything. I mean, one, the last time we saw you, and this will lead to the next thing, was at Toby's show, which I look at Toby as a culmination of an artist that this is coming from y'all's lineage. This is somebody that's doing it on his own. This is somebody that, I mean, from the jump, I've heard more people tell me about what Toby should be doing as opposed to, oh, I appreciate what he's doing. And then you see him succeeding. You see him booking shows, getting into video games, getting in Super Bowl spots, getting in NBA final spots. And then people are like, oh, well, I guess he's doing everything right. I feel like a lot of that comes from y'all's vein where it's like, yo, I'm gonna just do it myself. Like y'all not doing what I want. I'm gonna just do it myself. What is that like? One, performing with an artist like Toby, and then seeing his rise. That's off y'all's foundation.
Man, Toby crazy. But still, like, man, like this man crazy, bro. Like, man, I love that shit. Man, this man is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Like, man, I done that song with him, Purple Rain. It was crazy. You know, like, man, you got to see this man doing these videos. Man, he doing everything, man. He in control of everything. He got these outfits. He doing this. He doing it. It's amazing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never saw a talent like that. Yeah, he got out work ethic as far as doing it yourself, but man, this man is somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Which is, he give me the Kanye vibe, which is, I believe in, I just believe in what I real hard. He one of them people that believe, he don't waver. So to see that, man, and to be a part of it, and you know what I'm saying, like, it's just, he really, you know, I didn't know a bunch about his story before, but once I tapped in, man, he know what he wants to do. He know what vision he want, and he go after it, man, and got good energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna have, it ain't nobody where everybody gonna like what you do. So ain't no sense of trying to, and I think he caught that, he grasps that concept real fast that it ain't even, nobody's gonna like everything you do. So I tell like the young artists right now, man, hey man, start being more concerned about the people that do. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, man, let me tell you something. If you one of them people that when you drop a YouTube video and they got 100 likes and 7 dislikes, if you read the dislikes first, you need to get out. And that's how it is, man. You got people that you'll have 100 people over here saying great things, but these 7 that say something, it just affects you and derail you so hard. And he never gave me that mind frame of a person that was worried about that, man. He just kept turning that 100 to 500, 500 to 1,000, 5,000 to 10,000. It was always some naysayers and people who didn't understand him based on how our culture built and the way that he coming through it. He was real, you know, strategical and had strategies about how he wanted to do. And it kind of was some shit like me, tap in or don't. And here we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now back to your career, because we still got more coming. You still drop albums. You just dropped Legend. You have a book now that's coming out, which you said. Now this is not an autobiography. This is
that's coming. That's coming though.
Okay.
But I wasn't ready to do that. My autobiography, of course, is gonna be real controversial, you know, and It's gonna be a lot to talk about. I seen everything. I seen it all.
What about a movie though?
You know, let's go one step.
Okay, all right. It's like I said, I've seen a few documentaries on you. You have a very interesting life, sir.
Yeah, I got you've seen nothing. You know, you've seen nothing. So my thing is, I want to be real prepared. When I go into that story, I'm gonna be on that story. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be on that story. Like it's never too late. You know, it's in the making. Don't get it. But the way that I wanted to start my book career was let me become an author first. And let me add that to my portfolio. People just be saying, that's just like rapper. You know, you can become a rapper. That's just like a DBA. You know, it's easy to become anything. But I'm saying, let me really become an author. Let me get it under there. Let me get the book game under there. Let me just get my game to the platform. And then I'll be able to, who's this guy? And I'm going to tell you who this guy is. You know what I'm saying? And so that's definitely in the making. I think that lane, I'm into writing. I'm into vocabulary. I'm into all that. So I think that was the perfect lane to me. It took me so long because at first I was in the mind frame of I had to just straight sit there and write it. Man, I couldn't tap into. I'm so much of a perfectionist. I still trying to make it look perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't perfect it right there. So once I got the concept of the way that I just got through doing it, I could see me rolling out 4 or 5 of them real quick. You know what I'm saying? So now I got it. I pretty much know I'm going, because my first books that I'm going into, Legend Talks, I'm telling you, they just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? And it's everyday life. It's nothing in here that people can't really tap onto what's going on. So I could have went on and on. When I got through with the book, I was steady writing down chapters that I could have done another chapter on and another chapter. Very intriguing because it's about me, you, and everybody. It's no pointing fingers and it's no judging. And you know, it's humorous, you know. And I think that the ebook, you know, where you can really, you know, well, not the ebook, but where you can really the audio book, where you listen to it, is just gonna be just as great. Hard book is one thing, so I'm gonna have both. And you know, hey man, like I say, it's gonna be a reflection of where I'm at right now. Same thing I feel about the album, man. Even though I'm positive and all that, it's still gangster. I ain't on there telling you, man, yeah, the album was good and there's no cuss words on that. Now it's cussing like a motherfucker.
Kanye is.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling it to you in a great way. I've never been too BH and I'm gonna kill you and I don't got no ops on my album. I don't think I said the word ops.
No. Like, you've been a lyricist.
I'm not
about having a good time.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm into letting you know that, you know, if you play too much, it can go down. But I ain't into I'm standing in your backyard and I'm gonna shoot you in the mouth. I've never been in it. I'm into feel good music. I'm into conscious music. I'm into think before you, and I'm at the same time have a good money. And like you said, I ain't telling you don't take these risks if that's what you want to do. I'm just telling you to be prepared for it. That's all.
So the book, is it more Marcus Edwards or is it more Lil Keke?
That's what I try to tell people. People, my family, people try to, that person is the same. You know, a lot of people don't think that, but that person is the same because it's not, Lil Keke is not like, it's not like Sean Carter, Jay-Z. You know, like my name's Sean Carter. Lil Keke comes from Lil Keke, my, you know what I'm saying? And my family teaches people. Marcus Edwards really is a business person. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I take care of business. This is my family legacy. This is how I go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Keke is the person every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, listen, I promise you this. I've never said this before, but it just thought in my head as I'm saying. If it was 2 people in the room and they both said my name at the same time and they said Marcus and Keke, I'm gonna look up to the one that said Keke.
Okay.
9 times out of 10.
That's real.
I'm gonna look that way 9 times out of 10. let me tell you something, what's a fool? A lot of people that call me Marcus, sometimes they being sarcastic. I won't even answer. If I think you being sarcastic, because if I think you're just a person that's just saying that because you know my government name, I probably won't even answer you. Because most people that's calling me that, they connected to me some type of way differently. Like some shit like, my spiritual advice, my spiritual he might say that. Mm-hmm. Mark, now you know, Mark. He you know, the man on the light bill. I don't know. I don't know, because I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people is gonna address me with Keke and not in a rap form. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not talking to me in rap. Hey, what's up, Keke? Man, you know, they saying it when they mad. God damn, Keke, it's the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, you know, so people always ask me, is that more? Really, that book is Keke talking shit. That's it's more of that. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you this. I put this in it. It is Marcus, because it's about business, and I am mature, and it's about moving forward. Now, Marcus Edwards is, because Marcus Edwards in his later career is about taking care of business. And now I remember times when I was putting everything in the kids and your mama name, and you know, now my assets and my investments, and I put, like I said, Marcus Edwards is business. He's investments, and he's assets, and he's exotic pop deals, and he's that. Keke is that nigga talking that shit in that book, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know my brother gonna ask another smart question, but before we get there, I gotta ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you for years. What exactly is the slab holiday?
A slab holiday is me and T Ferris. T Ferris used to challenge me in the studio. Not challenge, but he used to say stuff like, hey man, I want you to do a song, man, about, man, girls, how they like gangster dudes, man, and they just love dudes hard and gangster. I make a song called She Love Her Gangster. So one day he was just like, man, give me a song, man, about the coldest day you ever just seen slab and just y'all just ride. Slab holiday. I was like, man, I'm gonna call it Slab Holiday. So Slab Holiday is basically a day of all the slabs out. And man, I'm just a trend-setting person, man. I'm the first one said that. That's my line. And people just took it and turned it to what they want to, you know, making their own days of it, making car shows. And that used to worry me and disturb me, but I can't stop it. And it just been going on my whole life, from the samples to everything, man. I'm just that person that people gravitate to, the things that I do in the culture. So Slab Holiday is just basically a big day with all the slabs out. Like at this particular time, it was me. I had a show, and Frankie Beverly and Mays was performing at the Baby Dome at Prairie View.
Ooh, Baby Dome.
See, that's those type of lines, them gangster lines like that.
Boy.
They don't know nothing about that.
Man, baby, I seen a nigga get his clock cleaned outside the Baby Dome.
The Baby Dome.
Love the Baby.
So the Baby Dome, they performing there, and I'm performing. I'm the shit at this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a kid. It's Southside time, 97, 98, all that, 96, 97, 98. I'm up one. So I was like, we had a showdown. And I told everybody and such, and I put man, just right at the right time in some type of way, man, we on that 290, man. And man, you just look up, you look in the rear, you look up, and man, they crossed the line, man. We rolling. We probably 10 or 15, 20 of them headed that way, man. And it was a beautiful sight. And that's why I started to rap off with, that's been my whole career, painting pictures. See, one thing about me, man, I paint pictures of the ghetto. You know, I bring that, just like on Hold It, on the new album. I bring it to life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bring it to life. That's always been my thing. And that's what Slab Holiday is, man. Just a day, my favorite day of seeing all the slabs together. Now slab holiday in the streets is all kinds of things, parades, days, car shows, and all types of stuff.
It's like Sunday on Sunnyside. Like, to me, that's what it sounds like to me. But two, another thing to thank you about, you've always been so motivational, because I remember, I forgot what grade I was in, but our mission statement for the year was platinum in the ghetto. Because of you. Oh, man. I was like, yo, you like, you're with it.
Back when I was thinking of that, I was on some, man, you know, all y'all big and platinum, but I'm platinum. If y'all could come see me in the ghetto, y'all would think I'm platinum too. that was about, man, being young, 21, 22 years old, and just like, hey, man, listen, I ain't platinum yet, but I'm platinum in the ghetto. If y'all could just come see me in the ghetto, I'm platinum here. These people love me here. They adore me here. They revere me here, man, like they do y'all in the world, man. We just down here in lonely Texas where y'all ain't tapped into yet. That's how I used to be thinking. But, man, it all, it's coming full circle, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the thing about this album. Again, just like, man, wow, I'm in the middle of it. What can I do to these same fans that love me to death? What can I do to get them back excited about, wow, man, Key with it, went in here and put his heart into it. He really put it. I'm real big into God gonna bless your effort. So I wanted them to see, man, Key really put his effort into it about really doing it. So that was it.
No, it's not just, I mean, we've talked about a number. Like, we talked about Fat Pat and Pokey, T. Ferris, you being the captain of the SUC. You are also a part, like, we've talked about the SUC. You see podcasters like Donnie Houston that are doing a fantastic job getting a lot of these stories chronicled. Because a lot of the SUC, when we look back, y'all were there before many of us. It was a myth. You're hearing stories told by somebody else, to somebody else, to somebody else, and then you get it. A while ago, it was Isaac Yeoman and the IO Visuals. He did the screwed up visual tribute that we're hoping is going to get turned into more. But the first face that appeared was you. Like, we were waiting. How important is it getting Screw's legacy? And I'm also thinking about Lance Scott Walker's book that's about to come out about DJ Screw. How important is it to really detail and chronicle his legacy as we move forward? And you're seeing a lot of this chronicling happen within the last, like, 5-10 years.
It's important to me, man, because a lot of the stories just so fraud, man. Like, they just not right, man. You know, they just so. It's important to me to be here to give it at least the last legs of some type of truth to it, man. Like, people got so many of their own versions and their own thoughts. So I'm not really big into arguing and chasing down and competing narratives and changing that. I'm just happy to be one of the originals that really was here from day one, that give people a chance to get an authentic story. So that was my thing with Chill, with Isaac, was just. And even though it didn't go all the way that I wanted to, it's still in the making, different things, because they kind of was rolling in it a little bit before they came and got me. But it was just important for me, man. Can we just have, you know, different things that's authentic? Like, you know, I just came straight in and was saying stuff like, hey, man, Screw wouldn't have been looking like that if he did that. He wouldn't have been such a. Pat wouldn't have said that. You know, just all things that people in the culture that's from that would know, hey, man, Pat ain't never had no such. And, you know, like, for instance, like, I think one time before they had a part where they was showing where Fat Pat was performing Ghetto Dreams, right? And I was like, Pat died before the album came out, man. Let's just keep it authentic. Let's not have him nowhere. Didn't never get to perform it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that kind of things was important. And it wasn't like they were against it or mad. It's just things that you have to be cautious with, that I just felt like, and I still feel like this, whenever the story gets completely told, just for it to be nothing is going to be perfect. That's going to be made up, and that's goes with the movie. They're going to be added things such, but at least, man, if you can have it somewhat authentic, that's going to give some type of closure to the people who really lived it here, and it's not that many of them.
No, that's good. That's good. Okay. So before we get you out of here, one, you got Legend that just came out. When are we expecting the book, and what more are we expecting from you for the rest of this year? We got Legend out now. We have the rodeo that is happening March 11th. We have a book that's coming out. We got the podcast. Tell people what we can expect to see from Lil Keke in this upcoming year.
First of all, with Legend, I'm not through with it. I'm excited about the first couple of weeks. I'm going to dig into it a little bit more, get a little bit more content in it where people can really see the growth of it, man. That's more videos, that's more content. That's very important in today's age because it's so easy to leave music so fast. That's why you have to find other things that the album does for you instead of, because the album can be over quick and fast. But I think, man, my leading up to the album and my impact of it was so great. But I still want to finish out with the book. I'm thinking about late spring with it. Same thing with the podcast. I think I'll be wrapped up with that for the rest of the year. And at the same time, I'm not through with this music. I'm looking for them. I just haven't found. I've been striking out a couple of times, and it ain't the artist's fault. It's just, I think, mixing my time and what I need to do. I want the young artist. I'm musically inclined. I'm going to do music till it's over. That's my biggest fish. I tried to talk myself out of that before. I ain't talking myself out of it. I'm revived. I feel good. Where the young artists at, Lil Babies, Gunners, I want all that. From down here, Houston, whatever. I'm just going to mature into that role. So let me take advantage of what my platform is offering now, which is I'm going to book. The book thing, I think I'll stay rolling with that. I got kind of like a good foundation to do that and to a strategy of how to do that. So that'll roll. But I want to stay inclined with the music. And man, I don't get on here talking about, man, yeah, I'm finna get into some real estate. Hey man, those are things that as the game blesses you, you're gonna get into your investments, whatever. But as far as what y'all looking for, what is Lil Keke finna do? You know, more into the content thing. I think I'm great in that. And that's why we're doing the I Am Athlete thing, because I'm just as big in sports as I am in music. So I think, man, from the I Am Athlete thing and the books, but mostly the music, man, I'm still telling people, man, this is what I'm saying. This album made me feel good enough to know that not only with me rapping, that I just still feel great about my space in music and how I make music. So I want to continue in that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And I'm glad you're putting out more content. Shoot a video for Having Things with Jack Freeman.
That's next.
That's next.
It's next.
Okay, thank you. I got some memes I want to make, and I need the video. And but yeah, and plus, friend of the show, Jack Freeman, love that guy. So
love him, man. He's done that Having Things, man, and that blew me away. I'm real big on my first song on my album. That's very important. Hey man, I can have Holden, I can have all these jam, Big Crit, Juicy J, until I get that one that I'm gonna lead off with. I'm in shambles. And me and him got that done, man. I'm like, that's it. So we getting ready to shoot it, man. We shooting it like a movie. My last couple of videos, we from Texas, don't get involved. I've been really putting the effort into how I want to do the video. So me and Jack, that's next. We shooting it March 7th. March 7th through the 9th. I'm shooting No Cap this week too. So my next, yeah, LD, yeah, that's my guy.
Boy, you doing it?
LD, my guy, bro. Yeah. So we shooting No Cap this week, produced by Mr. Lee. But Having Things, shot by Trill Art, March 7th, big record. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put a lot of effort into both of those, man. And that's what I was saying, man. I'm excited about the album. I got a lot of great songs, so I want to keep rolling with it. So Having Things, Jack Freeman, big talent. Shout out to Jack Freeman. He killed the album twice.
And Trill Art. Trill Art, we want you on the show. But yeah. So, man, thank you very much for coming in. Coming out or staying in, because we're doing this on Zoom. Yeah. Where can we find you on social media?
Really, man, you could put in Lil Keke, and I'm gonna pretty much pop in on everything. Now, if you want the handles, it's like Don Key 713. That's my Instagram. I think that's my, man, I'm doing a little TikTok and everything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, OG TikToking. So you can go over there, catch me over there. But basically anything Lil Keke.
Wait. Who got you on TikTok?
I ain't gonna lie, listen. My social team, they got me on it. They like, man, and let me tell you something. I got the personality for it though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do.
And so I just haven't really tapped my personality. And right now, man, I'm just more on that with my songs and my cars. I kind of picked up a little quick. It's picking up well for me. And now don't get me wrong, man. You know, we OG. I ain't friend. I just ain't figured out how to be completely silly on that yet. You know?
You don't have to be though. A lot of artists.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Man. At first, I was ducking it and ignoring it. I love it now. I tap into it every day.
I'm telling you.
I tap into it as much as Instagram, but I love it. I'm going to go on there. I love the talent on there. So, but Lil Keke pretty much on everything. On Facebook, on Twitter, everything. Just press in Lil Keke. You'll find me pretty fast, man. And selfmade713.com for all the merchandise. We got the new hoodies. We got the crew necks. We got a lot of stuff on the way. New merchandise, and that's Selfmade 713 without the E. SLFMADE 713.com. Y'all tap in.
100. Before we go, though, I got one more question. I really want to know this. What is, you got to pick one. Out of all the cars you've owned, period, what is your favorite? I know it's hard. You got to pick one.
Not hard.
Okay.
Not hard. My favorite car out of all the cars that I've had that is a long list is my 79 Monte Carlo.
Ooh, shit.
It's my first one. And I drove it, man. Story so praise on. Hey, man, listen, I wanted to drive it so bad till I hopped my neighbor's fence and took a license plate off their old car, when a car that they backyard, and put it on mine. That was, I'm not even worried about if it was the registration. But I was about 15 or 16 right here. I was about 16. That was my first car. So that's going to always be my favorite. I didn't even get to drive it maybe number 4 or 5 times. I had to put a motor in it. I bought it as a shell without the motor in it. But it's my favorite car because I always love cars. And that's my first one that got me started.
That's real. That's real. That's the first one that got them started. But look at you now.
And I'm about to purchase me another one shortly.
Real,
okay.
See?
Okay.
Look at that.
I'm going to do that in the next, and you know, maybe a car or two down. I just got another one. I got a new lack I'm about to bring out in a few weeks, but I'm in a few months. I don't even know when.
When you feel like it.
It's I'm working on it. When I say I don't know when, I don't know what the hell these shop people will do. They crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to get me a 79 Monte car. That's on my bucket list to give me another.
That's true. And we all trying to be like that for real. Because
hey man, that's a bad habit, but I love it. That's really my joy. That's my joy, them cars. I love it.
Yeah. That's real. That's Houston culture. That's what it is. That's what it will be. Thank you once again, Lil Keke, Don Keke.
Thank you,
and
man.
also, you know, we just really want to thank you. The pleasure. I mean, you thanked us when we started. The pleasure is really ours. You shaped the culture, like for real. A founding member of the SUC. You're a legend. And even though that, like, it seems like saying that word is just like so cliche, but you've earned the title because you really are a legend. We want to thank you once again. I've been Avery like a very nice guy. That's my brother, Just Divine.
Great. Shout out to Tori for hooking it up, man. Appreciate y'all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't leave.
Don't
leave yet.
Don't leave yet.
Don't leave it. This is In My Humble Opinion podcast. You can find us at My Humble O. Humbly yours. H-Town. It's too sweet. H-Town.